Hello, I'm Pat Olson. Welcome to this special edition of Inside USF Basketball. We sit down with USF head coach Rex Walters. The Dons basketball schedule just released today. And Coach, let's look over the schedule. We have it right here in front of us. We're going to kind of just free flow through it a little bit. You open up at home with South Carolina State.
Yep. I don't know much about them. I haven't scouted them yet, but no, it's a home opener. It was very difficult getting a date, but we were able to do that. Nick Whitmore did a really good job with the schedule, so we're looking forward to that first day.
How challenging is it in this day and age to put together a schedule and get that balance? How difficult is that becoming year in, year out?
It's very difficult. You know, everyone wants to play us, but they only want to play us at their place. So obviously we're not going to do that. We want to be as home as much as possible. We want to play a challenging schedule. We want to try to get into an exempt tournament where we can be challenged on a neutral site for the most part. So it's just a very difficult process. I'm surprised we're done as soon as we are, because every day it's just like trying to crack rocks.
You allude to the exempt tournament. You played down in Florida in the Gulf Coast Showcase. Some good teams down there, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Evansville. Those tournaments are always fun. Fresno State in that tournament because you have a chance to beat some pretty good programs on a neutral court as opposed to going to their building.
Yeah, you know, obviously we tried to do some different things, but Florida, the Gulf Coast thing was a chance to get Cruz back home, get him at least close enough where his family could see him play. Also, the fact that, you know, Florida Gulf Coast, it's kind of got some definite name recognition. Fresno State, we'd have to travel across the country to play each other, but we would get a chance to play each other. You know, Green Bay's really good. I saw them last year play Pepperdine, I think, in Alaska, and I was like, wow, they were impressive. So it's a chance to get some quality wins on a neutral court. You know, we'll go to obviously a great location. I like warm weather. There's nothing wrong with that. So it'll be a good experience for our guys.
You know, that tournament is before Thanksgiving, but will you kind of think about the way the West Coast Conference tournament lays out when you play in that sort of format where, you know, you win, you stay over on the winner's side?
You know, you try to put together a schedule to give you the best chance in conference. So you want to do some different things that we'll see later on, you know, during the conference schedule, because obviously, you know, you win your conference, you have a chance to play in the postseason. You win your conference tournament, you have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. So you want to try to do things as much as you can. You know, like the game at Colorado, we want to play in a hostile environment because obviously BYU is a pretty hostile environment. Gonzaga is a pretty hostile environment. It's getting to the point where all the games are pretty hostile, but you know, Colorado is a big arena, so. You know, those are some of the reasons why we do that. Going to Montana, the weather's very similar to Spokane, you know, so our guys will have to get used to that. So, you know, little things like that, you just try to put your guys in situations that will prepare them later on down the road.
You mentioned the Colorado game. That's December 3rd on the road. That's a premier game to have. You guys have to get used to the altitude change. It's about 5,000 feet there, but it's a great game to play against a Pac-12 team on the road.
Well, I'll never forget Dio Lohorn. You know, thought he was having a heart attack when we went out there the last time. You know, Tad's a friend, and I think he wanted a little payback for the time that we got him at our place, and we feel like we're pretty good. We know they're pretty good, and once again, it will be a hostile environment. We'll have to get used to, you know, climate change, and you know, it'll be difficult. Climate change, I don't know what you call it, the air pressure, whatever. You know, bottom line is there's 4 lines, there's 2 baskets, there's 1 basketball. Who's going to be able to get stops and make shots?
Another road game you have in December, later in December at Cleveland State. Discuss that contest.
Tough one. That's a tough game. That's a tough road game. Right before Christmas, that will, once again, it'll prepare us for what we'll face, and they'll have some athleticism that we may not face in our conference. We saw a little bit of that last year at our place, and we were fortunate enough to get the W. You know, they'll be thinking about some payback, but once again, we wanted to get a tough road game against a really good mid-major program that'll be similar to what we'll face in the West Coast Conference.
I like the way the schedule lays out because I recall, you know, seasons in the past where you'd go on the road for an awful long time in December, and then you'd have a whole bunch of home games, and there seems to be some pretty good balance here. You open up a couple of home games, then you're in the tournament in Florida, then you come back home home to play Montana, on the road at Colorado, and then 3 straight at home in December with the Houston Baptist, Eastern Washington, and Cal Poly. And it's nice to have your guys at home for that stretch in December. I remember 3 years ago, it seemed like all we were doing was getting on planes the whole month of December.
Yeah, no, the schedule's got better, every year, and that's a testament to Scott Sidwell, Charlie Cross, their commitment to helping us be the best program we can be. The scheduling, as a head coach, you really worry about obviously your players, making sure they're doing what they're doing academically, player development, but recruiting and scheduling. I mean, those things are so big for your program, and our schedule has gotten better in the fact that we can, play in an exempt tournament, play games at home, challenge ourselves, and win 1 or 2 games on the road. That's what you're really looking for in your non-conference schedule, and we were able to achieve that, but a lot of that has to do with our administration.
How much do you consider trying to build that RPI when you look at a schedule? I know last year you felt that maybe a couple of wins back in late November, early December, your RPI might have been good enough to maybe get you to the NCAA tournament instead of the NIT. How much do you think about that as you look ahead to next year? Those 3 letters, that magic RPI that always seems to come up.
You don't like to talk about last season, but obviously losing Nevada at home, losing Idaho State at home, it killed us. It killed us in the non-conference RPI, and the fact that we only went 1-5 against the so-called Big Three. And really 1-6 because we lose to BYU 3 times. We've got to do a better job, in the conference of protecting our home court against everybody, and then going out on the road and being able to win games on the road as well. And then you have to take care of business with our schedule and where we're at as a program. You have to take care of business at home, and we let 2 big ones slip in the non-conference. And obviously, there was really 2 games at home last year in the conference that killed us. We win those 4 games, and we might have been dancing.
Let's talk about the way the West Coast Conference schedule lays out. You're on the road a lot early in league play. You play 5 of the first 7 on the road. If you can get through that stretch, then you're going to have a lot of home games coming down the stretch run. But you got to play them, wherever it is. You're going to play those balance of home and road in the West Coast Conference, no matter how it lays out.
Yeah, the road's the road. It's all going to come back to 9-9, pretty much, or what is it? You're 9-9, is that right? Okay, good. Right. Yes, KU education. Yeah, you have to find ways to get wins on the road, and you have to protect the home court. I thought we did a really good job last year. I think we finished 13-5, and we won some big games on the road that were nip and tuck, and we found a way to get it done. And for the most part, we protected our home court. We got to take it up another level, if we truly want to compete for a conference championship. You've got to mirror that and take one more step forward in order to give yourself a chance to achieve it.
The West Coast Conference opener is a road game at UOP over in Stockton. Then you play at St. Mary's. That's December 27th and 29th. So while it's 2 road games, you don't really have to get in an airplane. I'm assuming you'll bus out there. And will you do the kind of thing you've done in the past, where you might go out early in the day and check into a hotel and watch film and all that?
We've kind of changed it up. We've gone a little earlier to get some shots up before the game, but specifically we've got hotel rooms. I think the last couple of times, and I don't know. We'll see what the players want to do. What their gut is on it. The great thing, we got the best travel of any conference probably in America. It's all direct flights or bus rides that are really no more than an hour and a half. So, a road game, it's only a road game in the fact that you're playing against a hostile environment, but in terms of travel, it's great. Even going to BYU, it's a direct flight to Salt Lake, and it's about an hour drive to Provo. So, we'll talk to our players and figure out how they want to go about doing it. We've put some things together already in terms of travel, and get ready for it.
First West Coast Conference home game is New Year's Day against San Diego. You draw San Diego and BYU in your first 2 at home to round out those first 4 ball games in the league.
Yeah, I mean, those are some great basketball games, both of them last year, both home and away. Avery hit a big shot for us at the end of the game last year to win it, and I don't think we played particularly well, but they had a lot to do with that. San Diego will be really good. Johnny D, Chris Anderson, really good guard play. BYU obviously got Tyler Haws, who's probably the best player, probably the best pro prospect in our league. So it's going to be some great basketball. Hopefully people will come out and watch and support and give us a little bit of an edge.
Mid-January is the Northwest trip. I always think that's the toughest trip to make in the West Coast Conference. 2 cities you have to change, you know, get a plane ride, you change hotels, you pack, you repack, you unpack. You're moving around quite a bit, and you know it's never easy to play at Gonzaga. And Portland has been a tough place to play as well. That's a January 8th and 10th trip.
Yeah, there are just no easy games in conference. There's no such thing. Obviously, Gonzaga and BYU probably have the best home court environments for them for different reasons. Obviously, you know, Chris Adams absolutely bails us out at Portland to go into overtime, and then we found a way in overtime to get it. You look at the year before, I think Cole Dickerson hits a game winner at Portland to put us up. So it's a difficult trip. You know, this year's a little bit different. Usually we start at Portland, you know, now we start at Gonzaga, which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. And the bottom line is on January 8th, we got to bring it, and then on January 10th, we got to bring it as well.
Coach, I appreciate the time. I like the way the schedule lays out. You got to start playing the ball games and go get those W's in a while, but you open up at home on November 16th against South Carolina State.
Yeah, it's a good schedule. It's a challenging schedule. It gives us a chance to achieve some of the goals that we want, and we do. We want to compete for a conference championship. We want to have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. Both, you know, there's a lot of different ways. You can either win all your games, just win them all, and you know you're going to get in. You can win your conference tournament. So we want to do as good a job as we can do. We know there'll be some challenges. There are every single year, but if our guys play hard, smart, and together, we'll have a chance.
All right, the USF men's basketball schedule released today. Check it out on the USF website. Get your tickets, folks. Go on the website and click on the tickets link. We'll see you at War Memorial Gym on November 16th. I'm Pat Olson. Thanks for watching, and so long.